you go, y'all.
Hello, hello. Is this, okay, I think we're all on, and we're putting this to our residents. It's a live interview, and I want to thank all of our media who have made their schedule available to share with, give us the opportunity to share with you what Tybee is doing and how we are planning to prepare for the tropical storm coming, hopefully not too bad, but the projection obviously is Wednesday, and I will let our staff really get into the details. I just wanted to open up as a reminder, this is not intended to threaten, to be an alarm. It is to be an alert, an invitation to take action that is appropriate for your family, for your property, for your animals, and to just be aware. I know that Tybee, we all get complacent. Certainly I know I do, and I think we all do. Living here, we think that every storm is not going to impact us or not going to impact us very much, but that's something that we have to put aside, that mindset. We've seen over the last few years that anything and everything can happen no matter how much we prepare. But I can assure you that the City of Tybee our staff is doing everything within their control to make sure that this island is as safe as it can be before the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. And we certainly need our residents and businesses and visitors' support to make sure that we all work together on this, because safety truly is our first priority, especially now more than ever. So I'm going to introduce our city manager, our acting city manager, who is Michelle Owens. I want to thank her for keeping our council informed and keeping our staff really working together. And then Michelle will address what we're doing, and she will then turn it over, introduce the staff in each department so they can let you know what they are doing. And then if there are questions afterwards, we'll be happy to address those. So Michelle Owens, please.
Great. Thank you for being here today. What we want to do is just review what we at the City of Tybee are doing right now to prepare for this hurricane that's coming. First off, we have already started securing loose items, taking our trash cans off the beach, cleaning out our storm drains, and just making sure that there's nothing treacherous laying around. We're moving our recycle bins. We'll be making sure that there's sand for our residents. So we will be offering sandbags at Memorial Park, but that is for residents only, and we will be checking for proof of residency in the form of a driver's license or a utility bill. So we do want our citizens to know that will be available hopefully as early as Tuesday morning. We are expecting some flooding here on Tybee, so we will be preparing for that. We do have a I think 8:30 p.m. high tide on Wednesday night, which will be coupled with a full moon, so we are very concerned about the tide being almost 10 feet or more. So we do want to caution people, that road might be impassable by Wednesday night. Right now, we're voluntary evacuation mode, so if people are intending to go, we encourage them to start getting ready now, start looking at your own personal hurricane preparation plans, and make decisions based on your own family situation. We have here today to answer any questions and to give you some additional updates our Fire Chief Jeremy Kendrick, who is also our Emergency Operations Manager. We have our Police Chief Tiffany Hayes here, as well as our Public Works Director Pete Gull-Bronson. So I'm going to call our Fire Chief up to the podium to give you an overview of our emergency operations situation, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Thank you, Michelle. So yesterday afternoon or yesterday morning, we started the process of preparing for this event for the Tropical Storm Idalia. And, also we've been watching Franklin. Yesterday we got reports, as the process started of preparation. We had 65 rip currents on the beach yesterday, so it was definitely hazardous to swimmers. We left the beach double red flagged yesterday evening. Currently, the flags are at yellow and purple for marine life and hazardous conditions of waterways. There's folks out there that are enjoying themselves, but we are constantly monitoring the ocean and watching for those riptides to start coming back. Currently, we had our meeting this morning with SEMA, our first ops meeting, and we went to OPCON 4, which is a readiness state of awareness and monitoring. We have another briefing this afternoon at 5:30. We're constantly monitoring the storm, watching what changes are happening and taking place. And right now, you guys have read the news, you've seen what Florida's preparing for. Well, Georgia's doing the same thing. They've all been predicting that this storm, once it gets out into the Gulf, it is going to take off. So we do know that currently the track is heading straight into the Panhandle, coming up on the coastline of Georgia and everything in that direction. But there is possibility that this storm can move westward a little bit, which causes more problems for us as far as, storm surge and damage goes. The city manager reported to you just a few minutes ago that we do have the blue moons that will be taking place this week. So inundation of water is going to be a factor in play with surge. Highway 80, our main road that comes in. So I would suggest that families that live on the island, make your preparations of what you need to do in the event that, the roads are closed. Have your preparedness kit ready at home. We are in constant contact with SEMA. All municipalities are under the same policy plan for emergency operations. When SEMA goes to a different OPCON, we move to a different OPCON. However, with us being on the coast right here, we have to move a little bit faster because we're going to see that water before anybody else does, especially with the storm surge. We're not sure what type of damage we'll see as far as storm surge goes. It's right now, it's too early to tell. Hopefully, between this afternoon and maybe tomorrow, we'll start getting some imagery of storm surge and what it would look like, and then, move from there. But right now, as you guys know, it's monitor and monitor and monitor. That's all we can do right now. But the city is making preparations. We're ahead of the game, and that's good. We've already made contact with our debris monitoring services and our debris removal services in the event that we do have some catastrophic issues on the island. Our personnel are ready to go. I will tell you that the nursing home on the island is already in preparations for removing those folks off the island and evacing. So that was discussed this morning. They made the decision to do that, which I think it's a good decision. It cuts down on any other possibilities of situations or if they lose power. Other than that, that's about all I have at this time. Well, again, we have another briefing at 5:30 with SEMA, and we will move from there and make any decisions. If y'all want to hold questions? Okay.
Also just want to say too that we will be releasing non-essential staff from City Hall to work remotely Tuesday at noon. We do have a situation where Tybee is to begin qualifying candidates for a special election here tomorrow. So that qualifying will happen as normal from 8 to 4:30. However, Wednesday and Thursday, we are not sure what's going to happen with our election qualifying. We're waiting for the state to determine what will happen with that. So qualifying for Tuesday is still on as regularly scheduled, although all non-essential staff otherwise will be working remotely tomorrow. So if you guys have any specific questions, go ahead and fire those away and we'll have the appropriate staff answer it for you. Yes? Yes, so Wednesday, we do expect that there will be some water on the road. So usually at that time, we have to close the road until the tide recedes. I don't know, Chief Kendrick, if you want to add anything to that, but we are cautioning people who are coming to and from Tybee, especially Wednesday evening, to be aware.
So in the event that Highway 80 does have to be closed, we will get, our police chief will get in touch with Chatham County PD. They will hold that side of the road from Bull River Bridge until we can get some, whether it's debris and water, and the water starts receding, and then we'll let traffic eventually start coming back on. And that notification process for the folks that are on the island will be made as well, too.
I do have another question. You talked about making sure people have their preparedness kits. What would you advise people put in those kind of kits?
So, water, perishable items, you know, some extra clothes, you know. If you suspect flooding at your house and home, you know, we always say throughout the year of hurricane season when it comes here, have your insurance policies ready to go. You know, have all that documentation there, because it is not a make a phone call and expect the insurance company to start having everything. You need to have all your documents in a row. Your medicine, you know, I always tell everybody, hey, if you need to get refills, prescriptions of your meds, go ahead and do it now. You might not be able to do it later, you know. And of course, if you're staying, charge your phones. Buy those portable chargers that can charge your phone in case you lose power. These are always good suggestions to do. You know, stay in touch with your family. Make sure that they know whether or not you're staying on the island or if you are leaving. You know, make sure that somebody knows something. And most importantly, take care of your animals. Please take care of your animals. They're a family. Take them with you. Don't leave them stranded.
When would you say would be the best time to leave if people are thinking about, going inland?
Well, you know, there's no mandatory evacuation. I think that people should monitor the weather and think about their surroundings and where they're at. And if they want to go more inland, then, you know, those preparations should probably be starting today. You know, again, we don't have any mandatory evacuations in place. But then again, you know, it's one way on, one way off the island. So if Highway 80 closes, you might be stuck.
What would you say to vacationers? I know we're kind of still in peak vacation season, people from out of town that have never been through a hurricane or tropical storm. What resources are available for them?
So what we have done is we have actually put information on our website, and we're addressing, you know, as people make contact to us. You know, with this event, it's a shelter-in-place type situation. I know that for a fact because my family just came here yesterday. So, you know, and I've already told them it's shelter-in-place. You know, from what we've gathered, the storm is, once it hits land, it's going to move fast. What it does in that process of moving fast, don't know. So this is more like a shelter-in-place type event. You know, we've still got people that are booked and scheduled to come to the island Thursday, you know, on the campground. So they're not letting the storm scare them, obviously, but, you know, it all depends on how this thing intensifies, you know. I mean, we just don't know yet, you know. We want everybody to be safe and smart, but we also, at the end of the day, we have to look out for the citizens as officials.
Would y'all have, like, something were to happen and then it would become like a mandatory evacuation? Y'all have any kind of, like, severity? If it gets so severe this way, then we want people to leave the island. Is there any kind of plan for that?
We haven't gotten to that yet, and we hope not to even have to approach that. But there are plans that are in place because, you know, if you have family that have loved ones that require medical needs, you know, based off electricity, so those type of arrangements would have to be made in the event that took place. That's why we encourage everybody that lives on the island, you know, and elderly folks that require, you know, medicine for their, you know, insulin, for example. Insulin's got to be refrigerated. You know, if you don't have power, you know, you got to take care of your medicine. So these are the kind of thought processes that we want our citizens to think of.
Now, is there any kind of, like, shelters or anything that y'all are offering for people that maybe their houses get a little flooded or anything like that?
Like I said, we'll get to that if that process comes. You know, that's where insurance is going to come into play for the homeowners. You know, we just got to play that by ear. There is no active shelter right now that we have made for this event. But in the event that we need to open something up with one of our facilities, I'm sure we can make that happen.
Are there any areas that flood more than others that you all are usually on the lookout for in these situations?
Sure. Highway 80, Jones, Lewis Avenue, Phoenician, 5th and 6th Street, where? 7th and Miller. So there's quite a few different areas that will flood.
Just from what we know now, I know you said we don't know a lot right now, but from what we know, does this compare to any other storms that you've seen in your time here, whether it be Matthew or Irma or anything like that?
Irwin comes to mind, just how it came across, you know, in the direction. That's really what I can think of right now.
Jeremy, I just wanted, thank you. I just wanted to introduce our Chief of Police, Tiffany Hayes, who has been on the island her entire life. She's been with the police department for 27+ years. There may be some information that we're not thinking about that she can add to this conversation, especially when it comes to people calling in the dispatch center, what they, you know, what they should be aware of and what they can or cannot expect to get answers to. And also just wanted to remind people that we're working very closely with SEMA, China Emergency Management. That's our chief works close with them, and we encourage people to go onto their website and sign up for their alert systems. You'll get the latest alert from your cell phone on what the storm is doing. And also, if our Department of Director of Public Works would like to add anything, just want to make sure that everything is covered now at this time. So if Tiffany, Chief, do you mind coming up and just addressing some of the issues?
Thank you. So obviously, from the police department standpoint, it's safety first. We want all of our citizens and guests to be safe, but we also want to keep our staff safe. We will work until it's no longer safe for us to work. Our 911 center will be operational. It'll be staffed at this time. We have no plans of pulling out from our 911 center. So please utilize 911 in case of an emergency. If it's a non-emergency, please use our 7-digit phone number, 912-786-5600. But if it's life-threatening and emergency, please dial 911. Our officers will be staying on the island unless this intensifies and we are told we have to mandatory evacuate. We don't see that happening right now. We do plan on staying through the storm, so we will be here. Obviously, flooding is a main concern. Stay off the roadway if you see flooding. The island does flood. We have a tendency to flood a lot more on the south end of the island and the roads that Chief Kendrick described, Lewis Avenue. Please stay out of the roadway if it's flooded. Look for down power lines. Pay close attention to those as well. There's a lot of things that you can look around for that you can see more than we can see just riding around. If you have any potential of down power lines, please call the emergency number so we could address them as soon as possible. And like I said, safety is always first. We're going to do what we can do to ride the calls until it's no longer safe for us to ride calls. And please utilize the 911 if you do have a life-threatening situation, and the 7-digit number if it's non-emergency, and that number is 912-786-5600. Please stay close to our social media, the cities, the police departments for updates. It's hard for our dispatchers to answer calls nonstop coming in about road closures, street closures. We're going to try to post as much of that information as possible and push it out on social media. But our 911 center will stay up and operational until it no longer can.
Great. Well, that sums it up. We just want to make sure that, everyone knows that, this is a time to prepare. this is a time to take it seriously, but there's no time for panic. This is going to be an event that is very manageable for us, and our staff is trained, and we know what needs to be done, and we hope that the citizens on Tybee are also doing what they need to do as we go forth into the week with this tropical storm situation. So that is the end of our news conference, but if you have, any other information that you need, we'd be happy to try to get that to you throughout the week. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I was on the phone with Bob.
Thank you.